What is up, guys? Jesse504 here, bringing you my Week 1 matchup in the Westeros International against the Eternal Eiscue. Just a quick overview of their team. They've got a very threatening team, one of the best in the league. Melmetal, Mega Gallade, Hydreigon, Snorlax, Rotom, Talonflame, Galarian Weezing, Runerigus, Abomasnow, Lapras, and Corsola. So you got a lot of stuff on the top end that really just hits me hard. That Melmetal, the Mega Gallade, and the Hydreigon are big problems for my team. Especially if that Hydreigon's running Scarf, then it just runs over my team, and Melmetal's just a threat like it always is. So these are the Pokemon I'm bringing to try to counter that. First off, we got Transcended, the Mega Alakazam, holding the Alakazite Magic Guard for the ability. Focus Blast, Psychic, Calm Mind, Dazzling Gleam. If I get a Calm Mind up, I can live a Scarf Hydreigon's Dark Pulse. So like if I can get a Calm Mind on the switch in, then I can just degleam it. Focus Blast does a lot to the Melmetal, so this one was just like the quickest grab for me. And then for the EV spread, 204 speed outpaces Talonflame, which is the fastest thing on their team. I feel like I didn't really need to run anymore because it's not like they're bringing like Scarf, Weezing, and I think I'll still outrun that. But that max special attack just hits hard for them. And so this can be, if I get a Calm Mind up, it can clean late game if it can hit Focus Blasts. Up next, Kookoo, the Tapu Koko, Choice Band set this week. Electric Surge for the ability. Wild Charge, Play Rough, U-Turn, Close Combat. They kind of have a pretty big fighting weakness, so just fighting coverage on the Close Combat and on that Focus Blast on the Mega Alakazam were just things I found necessary. U-Turn, Play Rough, Wild Charge, just a very solid set. Very solid set, I mean. Can just do what I needed to do, which is hit hard physical side. And for the EV spread, pretty simple again, outspeeds Talonflame. And then up next, Apex, the Infernape Choice Scarf. So it can. The goal for this one is really just to beat Scarf Hydreigon. So that's kind of what it's EV to do. Iron Fist ability, Fire Punch, Close Combat, Shadow Claw, U-Turn. So this might be my lead, probably. I can always just U-Turn out. And then, yeah, the EV spread outspeeds Hydreigon. And up next, we got Lando T, Poster Child, Rocky Helmet Intimidate, U-Turn EQ Defog Toxic. So I might have to rely on some Toxic Stall this week to get me through. That Melmetal, this is meant to come in, take a double Iron Bash, which with that Rocky Helmet, it'll do a third of its health. So that's base. 216 speed, Jolly Nature lets me outpace the Rotom. So I can U-turn out on that. Defog to get rid of the hazards. I'm not too weak to hazards this week, but still nice to not have them around. And then next up, for the defensive core of the week, we got Registeel, the Man of Steel, Leftovers, Clear Body ability, Toxic, Protect, Seismic Toss, Stealth Rock. I actually think that Body Press will do a little bit more. It doesn't get, yeah, it does, because it's a DLC. Okay. Body Press and Stealth Rock. All right. So 88 HP, 212 Bold Nature lets me live a superpower from Abandoned Melmetal. So that's something that, so I can pretty much live any one hit from a Melmetal. So what might be a thing is Melmetal comes in on like the Koko and it wants to double Iron Bash. I'll go into the Lando, do a good amount of HP to that, and then go into the Registeel. And last but not least, Dusclops, Eviolite, pressure ability to stall out those double Iron Bashes, because double Iron Bash only has 8 PP, along with Will-O-Wisp, Protect, Pain Split, and Nightshade. So I should be able to I can cripple things on the physical side with that Will-O-Wisp, that Mega Gallade. This can help check. Protect, Pain Split, Nightshade, just general solid set. Great for just wearing stuff down slowly over time. This thing can also take a hit from the Hydreigon, and then it can't really do much back, but it still helps out my team, which is great. And so this team is going to be the one that I hope can beat her. She did get the #1 power rankings, and she has a very threatening team, and I don't know how exactly I'm supposed to beat it, but I'm going to try. I think I brought my best A game, so let's hope that I can get it done. Alrighty, see you in the battle. Alrighty, so unfortunately the battle recording did get corrupted, so I'm just gonna show you guys the replay. It was definitely a great battle, and I'll just go turn by turn and just explain kind of what I was thinking. Alrighty, so for the lead, I wanted to lead one of my momentum boys, being Koko or Infernape. Just try to get some stuff, just like get going. So, what I did was I led Infernape against the Rotom Mow. And for me, this was just a really easy U-turn. Like, U-turn will dent this thing, it'll do so much if she stays in. And if she doesn't, I'll just get to go into whatever can handle it the best. So, they go to Runerigus first, and I U-turn out, and I choose to go into my Dusclops. Now, my Dusclops doesn't really have a way to deal with the Runerigus, but I just wanted to burn something, so I went for the Will-O-Wisp on the Hydreigon switch in. And this turn, I was kind of contemplating what exactly to go into on a Hydreigon because it kind of just sweeps through my team. But I just decided to protect to scout it out. So as she goes U-turn, I think that she's going to want to go U-turn again. So I go Landorus Therian and try to get some good chip damage in. Take 2%. And this point, I didn't really think a Runerigus could touch me because I assumed her set was something along the lines of Stealth Rock, Toxic Spikes, Trick Room, Earthquake, something like that. Or maybe like Will-O-Wisp or something, just some status. So I go for Toxic because that's going to be my main way to wear this thing down. And then I choose to go Defog here because I just don't want to deal with the Toxic Spikes. And now this Rotom, I don't really think it can touch me, but I don't want to deal with it doing anything. So I U-turn, and then I sat here for a second thinking if I should go to Registeel or Dusclops, but I ultimately decided on Dusclops. I was contemplating what she could do, and I ultimately decided on Dusclops because it is my more specially defensive wall this week, as she does go for the Toxic, which is why I was like, oh dang it, I should have went for Registeel. But, let's see it. I went to Registeel now, as she goes for Volt Switch into the Melmetal, and now it's Registeel against new Registeel, better in every way pretty much, other than that special defense. So she goes sub, which was a really, really smart bring against me, because I have that Registeel and that Dusclops, who both usually run Nightshade or Seismic Toss as their main form of damage. But this generation, Registeel got access to Body Press, which means that it can run defensive Registeel, and it can still hit hard off of that Body Press. So that sub play didn't really work out. So now she goes for the Earthquake, and I go for the Body Press. And so now I'm ready to just destroy the Melmetal. But she goes for the double Iron Bash, and that kind of annoyed me because I knew I was going to flinch. So this battle, it didn't really have that much hacks, but none of it went my way. Starting with that flinch, it was a 51% chance in her favor, which I'll respect. And it was definitely the smartest play because this thing was going to live one more hit regardless, and then it was just going to go. So I flinched, so now I died to an Earthquake. But Registeel did its job. The Melmetal is now only at 59%. And I'm able to go into that Infernape. I close combat, knowing that the Runerigus switch-in was likely, but not really seeing that there was going to be too much of a risk in doing it, because even if I did close combat and I'm locked into close combat, if they went anything other than the Runerigus, it was going to get hit for big damage. And I know on the Runerigus, I just have that really safe play into my Landorus because it can't really do much to me. So I get that Intimidate off, and now it really can't do anything. And I brought Bulky Landorus this week, which means that I was able to defog stuff away, and that burn really didn't hurt me as much as it might hurt a Landorus any other week. So now I went for the Earthquake on that Rotom, but I thought it was worth it. And then now I just U-turn out. Rotom's kind of low. I'm able to go into my Dusclops, and the Toxic just doesn't do anything. Because, so, my team has a very interesting dynamic where it has a bunch of hard-hitting wall breakers and a bunch of tanks.
But if I bring all of the wall breakers, they don't really care that much about being toxic. You'd much rather bring Will-O-Wisp. But my big, bulky guys, they don't really care about Will-O-Wisp. They'd much rather you bring toxic. So I really like what my opponent did, bringing the Will-O-Wisp on the Runa Regis and the toxic on the Rotom. Very versatile, very smart brings. Similar to what I did, bringing toxic on Landorus and Registeel and Will-O-Wisp on Dusclops. So now they go into Melmetal, which, so it gets that free substitute pretty much. I went Nightshade. Now this is kind of where solid prep comes in, because I go my Landorus Therian. Thank you to Vinny for the help with that Rocky Helmet idea. So the Rocky Helmet was able to allow me to kill that Melmetal through the sub, which was really important. And now they just lost their main Tapu Koko switch in. So I was able to U-turn, that's one for Tapu Koko, into the Infernape. They go Runa Regis, so I bust out my sweet Shadow Claw just to be able to do a lot of damage. They go T-Spikes, now I have really no way to deal with them, but it doesn't really matter because my Dusclops is already poisoned and that's the only one that really cares. So now they go Gallade. I go into the Dusclops, I don't really know what they want to do, but I'll just take the momentum if they just kill me, which they do. So now I go into my Mega Alakazam, and they don't really have a switch in for this, but so I went for Dazzling Gleam here. I was contemplating going for Focus Blast because I didn't really expect her to stay in, but I chose to go for that Dazzling Gleam, which now I wish I went for Focus Blast because that's a 2-hit KO. Or almost a 2-hit KO. That Immunity Trace was nice, but I missed my Focus Blast, which was really annoying. At this point, I thought the game was over for me. I thought I had lost, but that second Focus Blast did a lot, which was helpful in me doing... Now, she goes for an interesting play here in sacking the Hydreigon. I'm pretty sure from my calcs that at this point I kind of knew I had won. It was just a matter of playing it outright. But it was a roll on the Snorlax with Play Rough, whereas Wild Charge was a guaranteed KO from that range. So that helped me out a lot. So like even if she was Max, Fizdef, Bold, Koko, Wild Charge KO'd with that choice band. So the Hydreigon play, I kind of get it, but at the same time, I don't really get it. So now I go close combat, just get damage off on this Gallade, mostly just to minimize my recoil from the Tapu Koko, because at this point, it's all about just conserving the amount of health I had left, because I don't think there was ever a way at this point that I was losing, but it was a great... We picked up that upset against the number 1 power ranked team coming out of the draft, and we were at number 9, which is like pretty low. But so overall, I really like kind of the dynamic of my team, those big breakers, and then those big walls. That's like, I have the unstoppable force, and I have the immovable object. You really can't do that much against my team because it's kind of just hard. And like, if I play well, this team I feel is one of the best I drafted. But I feel I'm gonna have to learn some of these new Mons playstyles because I really haven't used Dusclops. I haven't used Araquanid, I haven't used Dragalge. I haven't used these slower style teams. Fast offense is much more my style from those 3 picks. But fast offense costs a lot of points. So when I realized I had to like kind of stop spending my points, I decided to go best Mon available and best Mon that would help me, which ended up being those bulkier Mons. Like Araquanid is really bulky, Avalugg is really bulky, and those were my next 2 picks, and I was like, great, I got a spinner and I got a sticky web setter. I didn't really think that much about it. But so that was kind of just my thought process with this team. And it seems that it's performed, and I'm really excited to keep playing with this team. I definitely think that I have a shot at making playoffs, even though I had a lower power rank team, just because of the dynamic on this team. That isn't really crazy on paper, but if in just the matches, it's just so hard to predict, and it's pretty hard to play as well. And that's what makes it fun for me, is just challenging myself with these new Mons that I haven't used that much. And it's just a team that I'm going to enjoy, I feel. So thank you for listening to that. Thank you for watching the battle. Thanks for listening to my rant at the end. anything that I could have done better, let me know in the comments. But Jesse504 out.